guys. Thank you, Justin, for editing all that out.
Awesome. He will coach us sometimes, so just be prepared for that.
I'm uncoachable. How's that go?
Yeah. Do not cut that out. It was me.
It might have been me.
I'm sorry.
We'll share the blame.
Can we just voice over it?
Can you make us a
AI
cartoon?
it, please?
Ooh, we can cut in right here. Justin, right here.
She's
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you ready?
I'm so ready. I think you should do it again, actually.
You could work with that one.
This is going to be fun. My favorite thing lately is your sunrise.
Keep it going.
Yeah, actually, we just brought you on to give you compliments.
One after the other.
Now that is a podcast.
Yes, it would be.
Welcome to another episode of the Canokla Chatter.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Canokla Leah.
Today we spoke with City Leah, Leah Sommerhoff, who is our city administrator here in Caldwell, Kansas. We talked about the inner workings of city government, the local chamber, and some of the things that Leah loves most about Caldwell.
It was a great conversation. I know that I learned a lot about some of the inner workings of the city, and I really liked some of Leah's ideas at the end, so stay tuned. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
In this podcast, we might refer to you as City Leah and me as Canokla Leah, and then there's Tim.
Tim.
Just Tim.
Just Tim. You're more than just Tim to me, Tim.
Thanks, Leah. City Leah.
Call me CL.
CL.
So I think we should start off. Just tell us a little bit about your background. I think we should definitely include what brought you here, because that is a very common question, you know.
So I grew up in upstate New York.
On a farm, right?
On a farm, on a dairy farm. Bryce and I, my now husband, grew up like a mile down the road from each other. And I think most people think like I found him online or something, because he lived here before I moved here. That's not the case. We actually knew each other in real life. I had heard about a lot of the people that he kind of became friends with and never really expected to meet a single one of them. And here I am.
Now look at you.
So there's that.
Now you probably know more people than him.
Sure do. That's probably not true. But he moved out here and he's older than I am. So I'd say I grew up with him, but I didn't really. He was more with my older sister and my cousin. And I worked for his mom, and then life happened and I moved out here 2 weeks after I graduated high school. I would say that Caldwell, and I'm not just saying this because it's like a Canokla Caldwell podcast, whatever, but Caldwell really has helped shape the person I am, because you do a lot of growing up from 18 on.
When did you start working for the city of Caldwell?
I started working for the city in 2013. I had been working at the doctor's office in Medford, and they had kind of reached out and asked if I wanted to work closer to home. And at that point, Kristen and I were really good friends. I mean, we still are.
I was going to ask, I know you started out as a city clerk, but what have you moved up to?
I actually started out as the deputy city clerk.
Okay.
So within our local admin staff, we've got your city deputy city clerk and utility billing, which is what I was hired in at. City clerk, and then city admin administrator, which I am now.
Nice.
So I really did not plan when my previous administrator went on in like the private world, I guess you call it. I did not plan to apply for that job. That's a fun fact.
I remember that.
Yeah. But Bryce really you'd be great for the role, and he kind of talked me into it. And so
I'm sure a lot of people were saying, hey, are you applying for that? Hey, because I was one of those people.
I think that having that experience, I had probably been in that role for 7 to 8 years. And so I did a lot of learning just of the inner workings, which I think was extremely valuable moving up into the now city admin role. Because I said inner workings already, but you really know like your people that you're working with and kind of the different quirks. And I already knew the water system, which was, and the ins and outs of that, and how utility billing works.
Okay, now for the hard-hitting questions, the ones everyone wants to know.
Scared.
Okay. What's one thing you wish more people understood about how a small government actually works?
I think that we're all neighbors. We live in this community. I think when you think of politics, you think of people that are like really far off and aren't involved. And we're driving over the same roads as everybody. You know, we want to improve the same things that you do, that all of our citizens do. We don't have unlimited funds, and that's a big thing. And our major source of funding is through property tax, vehicle tax. And so, you know, these projects that we all want to do, street projects for sure, water infrastructure is critical. I can't get big business here or, you know, big contractors here to do piddly little things. Mm-hmm. And so we've been working on trying to figure out how to prioritize those. Right now, our biggest priority is going to be the water infrastructure. You don't think about it until you turn your faucet on and there's no water coming out of it. We really are trying to figure out how to do a main. I mean, you guys saw the issue that we had a couple months ago, and that's going to keep happening if we don't act now. I wish it was done 30 years ago. But realistically, and a lot of people either don't realize or didn't know, the city's only owned the water utility for probably about 14 or 15 years now. It was held privately before then. And so those people did not have access to the grants and whatnot that cities do. So it was kind of just a fix it as it comes up, which means that, you know, back before it was incredibly competitive to get these grants and the prices quadrupled, probably more than. Now we're all trying to go after the same water grants.
I will say I was driving around the other day and I saw that the city has been filling some of the bad spots. And I was like, that's great.
My public works crew is amazing. Yeah. All of them. And it's small. That's the other thing is we work well with small amounts of funds, a small crew. Not all of the equipment that most people have in bigger communities, so we do have to rely on contractors and stuff. That it's tough, but all of my guys take it with kind of a grain of salt, and they do what they can with what we've got. And crack sealing is a big one, which will help. I mean, it's not going to make it any less bumpy, but it'll help it from those cracks increasing, the weeds coming up from them. So, I mean, we all drive on the same streets. I get it, but I want to make sure everybody has water to their house, and that's pretty critical.
And we have some very passionate community members that either come up and chat. I'm sure it seems like the city has an open door policy.
Oh yeah.
They'll call, they'll post on Facebook or whatever. So all of those different opinions.
It's a melting pot of priorities. And I think the biggest thing is on our end of thing is the infrastructure. Like we want to make sure that our citizens have safe, clean water to drink that gets to your house or your business. And, you know, sewer, same thing. We want to make sure that gets out of your house and to the lagoons. So, you know, those, luckily, I have a listserv of a ton of different cities, and they have gas and they have electric. And I'm like, oh, no.
Money has to go to the top priority. And I don't think anybody could disagree about water. But some other things, the hot button issues that small towns and any town might get onto is what the city can and can't control of its residents. You know, some people are very passionate about the street or curbs or grass or can we just kind of touch on what the city can and can't enforce or do through ordinances, because I feel like it's very easy to blame the city first instead of blaming people in their own responsibilities and their own property or their own business. So what are some common things that you battle with that?
We all know, like, blighted yards, inoperable vehicles. I just got off a call earlier. That is the biggest issue that we are facing. And, you know, you touched on ordinances and whatnot earlier, and I think anybody can put a piece of paper into place. The enforcement of it is huge, and I feel like we're not alone. I'm on a listserv with city admins and city clerks across Kansas. There's webinars of property maintenance and what have you across America. And it's an issue with, like, property rights. And so anybody can put a piece of paper through. And the commissioners and I have been very strategic, I guess, in, you know, you come up with an issue, or you not come up with, but you see an issue, you bring it to us. How can we enforce it? What does that look like on staff? Is it, you know, greater good type thing? And so that's kind of been the thought process going into those types of things. You know, code enforcement has been held within the city, like a city staff person.
I will say, though, talking about, like, cleaning up yards and stuff, Caldwell does, like, they have offered, like, cleanup days where you guys will bring in trailers where you kind of like try to sway people into actually doing it, which those they're popular.
I literally, this most recent cleanup day, we have our annual citywide cleanup day. I offered my truck and my muscles to somebody to help clean up a property.
It seems like everybody takes advantage of it.
Sure does.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's the thing is, you know, I try to be accommodating. Like, I am going to give you every single resource out there to make this a happy medium for both of us.
Right.
I truly believe the city is doing everything they can. And you talked about how resourceful you are in reaching out and all of those other places that are battling the same thing, or who to bring in. I would want this podcast to share that stuff is being done.
Yeah, trying.
We're not going to see the end result of somebody's lawn being picked up, or, you know, the end result isn't like the city burns the house down or something or hauls it all off in one day. It's so many little things. And people can ignore letters, fines. If you're ignoring your lawn, you may be ignoring your property taxes. I don't care if you put that on my property taxes. Or, hey, you're going to shut my water off? I don't care. I don't have it anyways. I mean, there's not an easy solution.
No.
And I believe in everyone at the city that they're trying to find as many solutions as possible, or any kind of avenue.
Oh, yeah. In 2026, I think our hope is to budget in better for code compliance, you know, being able to give us more resources for those special cases and property abatement, or, you know, attorney fees, you know, because if you go to court, you've got to have an attorney.
Right.
You've got to provide an attorney. So I think that is one thing is we don't like looking at it either. But civil rights and people's rights and property rights and all the things do come into play in some capacity.
Yep.
As it should.
You played a big role in revitalizing the chamber and boosting local events. What inspired that push, and what has been your favorite Caldwell event?
Fun.
Yes.
So I started going to the chamber for the chamber lunches, and I never really expected to dive head first. Somehow, I don't really know who added me as an admin to the chamber Facebook page. Sorry, Anya, but I became an admin of the chamber Facebook page and just kind of went wild. And so, you know, sometimes I'm clever and come up with my own stuff, and other times I just share, because my philosophy has always been kind of helping boost each other. I really wanted the chamber and my efforts to support the businesses, to give them, because a lot of them are mom and pops, and half of them, I'd venture, don't really have a Facebook following or a website following. And to be able to give them that little boost, I think has been rewarding. My favorite events, I think you asked me that,
Yes.
are going to be, I love Chisholm Trail and all the things. I'm not very, I kind of am behind the scenes on that with like setting up road closures and the nuts and bolts of that. So like the funsy stuff, I'm not necessarily.
Aren't you on porta potty duty?
I am on porta potty. You should see me. I'm like traffic controller. But the first, it was Stroll the Streets, and that is my baby. And I had reached out, and they're mom and pops. They're already open all day. They want to go home. They want to feed their families. And I just kind of begged everybody. I was like, can you stay for a couple more hours? This is our chance to show visiting alumni what we've got. Mm-hmm. And that, because the tough thing in a small town anywhere is everybody runs on different hours. So you really don't get the magnitude of what we have in Caldwell, because they're all open at different times. Yeah. And so the thought behind Stroll the Streets, and it's not like it's just something that miraculous other towns do it, not as good as we do, but
of course.
was showing off what we've got. And at that time, Picarna, they did trivia, I think, sweet treats. You guys opened up the upstairs, and, it was fun listening to people reminisce about dances and stuff that went on up there. And it's just grown every single year, and more people have come in. We finally got it on the alumni postcard. Hot dog.
Yeah. That was super strategic to put that on homecoming weekend. Like, if you can put a really great event, somehow tack it on to when people will be here and get the most bang for your buck that way.
Yes.
That was smart.
The other big win was the Kolache Kitchen they only make kolaches like 2 or 3 times a year. And I begged David Martis and he's very heavily involved in homecoming weekend and all that jazz. And I was like, I will take off of work and come help in the Kolache Kitchen, because you think all these people grew up with them. They're not coming back for the fair. They're not coming back for Chisholm Trail weekend. So they don't get them. And what a nice welcome home to be able to grab a couple dozen fresh hot kolaches in the afternoon. It's the only time they do them in the afternoons.
Yes.
So that's been a win. And then the other one that I love is Second Saturday. And it's kind of morphed into something great. Sugar Sisters does boozy brunch. If you don't do boozy brunch, you can go to the Red Barn. Susie's is open every once in a while. Hager Acres has been a huge draw for a lot of out-of-town people that weekend. And that's been, I've heard great feedback from the downtown businesses. And it's the same thing. It's having that consistent time where everybody's open. So you make the drive and you can go more than 2 places.
Right. Yeah.
So that's always, we're trying to get a couple other shops open at that time, and it's fun.
Stroll the Streets and Second Saturday have become one of my favorite things.
Me too.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Out of my brain, into Caldwell.
Yes, I love it.
So the other thing that I'm trying to formulate in my brain, and the logistics are getting me, is the Border Queen Getaway, which will kind of piggyback off of Second Saturday. The distillery does live music that afternoon. And so kind of creating this like package deal for couples, friends, family, whatever, to come to Caldwell. And, I talked to Kimmy about a candle making class, a bouquet class with Brooke, floral arrangements, whatever it's called, mani-pedis with unique designs, hat bar, rustic longhorn. So formulating how that looks and just kind of getting it out there. And you can stay at the upstairs downtown Messenger Suites, Border Bunkhouse, Border Queen Bunkhouse, any of those, and just make a full day out of Caldwell. maybe looping in Drury Dam type thing if it's a more outdoorsy, or giving people a map of the Red Hills to have them go run or hike or whatever that looks like for athletic people.
That'd be fun.
Or drive and take pictures.
Can't relate.
Yes, that's where I go. Yeah.
That's kind of something that I'm excited about, but the logistics of it are probably over my head. So anybody that knows how to put those together, just holler at me.
But for anybody who might be doubting if that's worth it, there are a lot of people out there that just like to go stay in cute little towns. And we have a cute little town.
We do. And you're exactly right. People want an experience. And so the ones that are unfamiliar with Caldwell, if we can serve that up on a silver platter and kind of give our businesses a boost, show people what we have to offer, those could be future business owners, future residents. I don't know. You don't know, but we can try.
You are very in the know. You are, City Leah. What is making you hopeful about Caldwell's future right now? And if you could wave a magic wand and give Caldwell one big win or an improvement or bring something here or just anything, what would it be? Two-part question.
I am excited about the people in Caldwell. I think that's what sets us apart.
Right here, these people, us.
I don't even know anybody else.
Yeah. Just us.
That's exactly it. But opening the small businesses in town, taking a chance on Main Street Caldwell, and I hope to have more of those people. I think that we have more mom and pops than probably most people do. And I would wave my magic wand. City Leah would love a total brand new infrastructure. Like if I could snap my fingers, we'd have new roads, new water, new sewer, all those things. And, have it done out to future housing development so you could just plop a house right there and it would be nothing. I'd love more residents for the school, for, our stores, all of that would be great. And then Chamber Leah would love to see a handful. I walk Main Street every morning, and so I dream up what our empty buildings can be, and we have enough of them. So the Reedy's building with the doors that go, they're in like a triangle.
They're so cool.
They are so cool. Can you picture like an ice cream shop to the left? It would be called the Main Street Scoops. Could also have like get your scoop here type thing, And then on the right-hand side, like a burger joint or something, or even like an arcade or something for kids. So that little building could be the place to go. Yeah. Shuffleboard's my thing, so I'd want a shuffleboard in there. And then Kimmy Hager's 2 buildings need love. But I picture like if money was no object and I could abracadabra that thing done, it would be like a mini Baby Dave & Buster's, right?
That'd be fun.
Couple lanes of bowling, some pickleball because I'm a pickleball fan, arcade games, like a little mini movie theater, something crazy fun like that, And I know everybody listening is probably like, okay, in Caldwell? Well, why not in Caldwell?
Yeah, why not?
People drive. People want an experience, and Caldwell's an experience.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yes.
You experience something.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to get involved or help make a difference in their hometown?
Just do it.
I love that.
I find the person. I'm apparently in the know. So if you want, find me. I'm at City Hall. There's plenty in Caldwell to get involved in. Find something that you're passionate about. And if it's not there, just start doing it. I'd love anybody who is passionate about plants and things to spruce up some areas in town. Got a couple people in mind for that. But don't be afraid to just show up. You might get like because none of these people are used to just randos walking in. So you might get like
begging.
Please show up.
How do we get you here?
Yes.
We're gonna build that passion in you. We want you to be involved in it.
100%. don't be afraid to just walk in, reach out to me, and I can get you in touch with somebody. But we've got so many different organizations and clubs and needs and areas that most people aren't even thinking about. You know, we can find something that you're passionate about that is at least along the same road. Art, you know, history for sure. Businesses, elderly folks. You can go volunteer at Sunflower Cottage, I think, maybe not.
Or the Caldwell Care Network.
Caldwell Care Network.
Friendship meals, right?
Friendship meals. Hang out at the senior center and play some cards or puzzles, or I don't know. I should probably find out.
Well, I just want to say I appreciate you so much for being here. It did take a little talking into, but you know you're doing a lot more speaking engagements.
I hate
these
it.
days, and you
So
just
good
are.
at it.
I don't know. I see you doing so. I just see that path for you. Like you're gonna speak more and more, whether it's online or at the city, or I think you're gonna start being like. How many times have you done Singo now?
Oh, Singo's different.
Well, I mean, but still.
July 26th. Shameless plug.
July 26th. So we just really appreciate you being here and what you're doing at the city and what you're sharing of the town and what the city is doing. So, yes, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you for convincing me.